Well, let me make a distinction between a margin and a levy.
Okay.
The margins do not go to government. They go to industry players. The levies go to government. For example, we have the primary distribution margin. It is technically does not go to the consolidated fund. It goes to the industry. So that is the major difference. Maybe Kojo was trying to explain that, but probably it didn't come true. So it's the levies that go to government through the consolidated fund or designated fund. My position on the 1 city is that as a people, we must, first of all, accept the facts. We can debate implementation, we can debate timing, we can debate methodologies. But the fact is that even using the figure Kojo quoted, the $3.1 billion legacy debt, it is simplistic to assume that the 1 cedi in 2 years, as Kojo was trying to push, must eliminate that debt. We have a major issue that we are not tackling, and which I hope the government will be tackling anytime soon, is that as of today, we are under recovering costs in the power sector. When you under recover costs, you are piling up debt. So first of all, we must eliminate the existing legacy debt. 2 weeks ago, the Minister for Finance had to find about $50 million for car park immediately. Other than that, they were threatening that they couldn't service their loans. Remember, project finance is about equity and loan. The norm is that equity may be 30%, the loan will be 70%. So these IPPs and other players, all those involved they have to service their loans as well. So the Minister of Finance had to cough up money for them because we owe them so much. So we have a situation where we have the legacy debt, 3.1, as stated, but we are also under recovering costs. So we have to do two things. The 1 cedi, I believe, will go towards the under recovery. Will go towards both the under recovery and wiping off the legacy debt. So my expectation is that government will hit hard on the industry to reduce costs. We have to contain costs, and we also have to drive down efficiency. It has to be two-pronged. Whilst we do the financial engineering to take away the legacy debt, you see, if you look at what Ken Ofori-Atta attempted doing, when he collateralized the inflows on the debt from ESNA, unfortunately, he did not use all the money received to service the debt. There is evidence that it was also used for other administrative governments. That did not help us. But more importantly, steps were not taken to drive up efficiency and drive down costs. For us to recover costs in any business, when you under recover costs, you will invariably be piling at future debt. It is for that reason that Ministry of Finance has had to purchase fuel for the sector. If we were covering costs, there will not be the need for the Ministry of Finance to purchase fuel, because fuel would have been purchased from the revenues of the industry. So we need to tackle two. I am in full support of the 1 cedi, but that will not be enough. We also have to look at the price build-up. Within the price build-up, there must be some savings. And let me put this on record. I believe the UPPF, for example, should go down. There should be some saving out of UPPF because the biggest single component, the biggest single operating expense on transportation is fuel. So since fuel prices have come down and the private sector, Ghana Private Road Transport Union and other transport organizations have come up with a 15% reduction on the back of the reduced fuel prices. The UPPF, which is essentially for transportation, both the UPPF and the primary distribution margin must also come down. So there should be some savings within the existing price build-up. Then we also have to look at some of the administrative margins. Do we still have to maintain that quantum in the light of falling inflation, in the light of falling petroleum prices? If we do that, I believe there can be some savings in the existing price build-up to offset the 1 cedi. But the Ministry of Finance, by our constitutional construct, even if the whole 1 cedi was to come from the price build-up, the Minister of Finance is still obliged by our construct to come to Parliament for this.
Oh, Doug, I don't know if I lost you or if you're still on, but finally, maybe before we let you go would be that. And so in short, you support this 1 cedi per litre directive or levy, unlike others who are asking for a consolidation of the existing levies.
I stated that I support it. However, it should not be in isolation.
Okay.
It should go with a conscious attempt to drive down costs, both in the fuel sector and in the power sector. It should also go with a conscious plan to drive up efficiency. And I also stated that within the existing price build-up, there are savings that can be made, particularly on UPPF, the Uniform Petroleum Pricing Fund, and the private distribution margin. There are savings that can be made because these are essentially transport-based. And because the cost of fuel has come down, a part of the savings should go to absorb the 1 cedi. But the Minister of Finance is still obliged by our constitutional construct to come to Parliament in a levy. The suggestion to consolidate the levy, it's a good one, but it will not immediately solve any problem.
Okay.
It will just be administratively more efficient.
Okay. All right.
But